Hey, I'm not late. It's 8 o'clock p.m. on the dot, right? Yeah. Okay, I was like 38 seconds late. And the reason is actually embarrassing. The reason is because I couldn't find an instrument cable in this studio. I just couldn't find an instrument cable. And that is why I am running terribly late. 30 something seconds. Pretty awful. Ugh. So, how's everybody doing? I'm going to sit really weird. I'm also going to put my armrests down. I'm just maxing. Uh, so, what's new? I assume everybody can hear me. Maybe I should turn my voice volume up a bit higher. Okay, there we are. Much louder. Um, I sound funny. How do I sound funny? I'm gonna. Oh, I sound doubled. Interesting. This is an interesting development. Oh, you know why? Because I am looping back. That's why. Uh, let's let's open up the old RME Total Mix Effects, and that should fix it. Yeah. Wow. All right. So I'm not gonna be able to hear my own voice in my own earphones because I didn't think about that. But yeah, uh, I actually changed sound devices on my other machine too, so that may have screwed some things up. Interesting. And so, another way that I could actually do this, though. Hang on, I've figured out a solution to my own problem. Go back to the doubling and then mute this, and now you hear me only once, and I could actually hear my own voice, which is nice because I want to know if I'm sounding pretty. All right. Anyway, so how's everybody doing? What's new? How's it going? I also, another thing that I didn't prepare, and I actually tried, I actually spent like a good 5 minutes trying to figure out how to pronounce BLEASS. BLEASS? BLEASS. I'm just going to say BLEASS. I don't really know how to pronounce this plugin company. Uh, I could have spent more than 5 minutes, but I only had like 5 minutes, and I was like, surely one of these videos somebody will say it, but they were all audio only. So I guess I'm naming the company. So it's BLEASS. You're welcome for Pale Blue Dot. Um, right. I'm glad that everything's fixed. I thought that somebody sent me a taco emoji, but it is a hand. Um, which is fine. Oh, hey there, Southwest Chicago. I miss it a little bit. I when I first moved down to Georgia, my missing Chicago meter was like very, very low. I did not miss anything when I first moved down here. I was just like my stress levels just went boop completely down. And then over time, I I started missing food, like certain restaurants and pizzas and things like that. And then yeah, I and people, of course. I guess like that goes without saying. Like I miss people. Um, but people in the winter, my Chicago friends are usually happy to come down here. So right. Um, yeah. What else? So Twitter drama this week. If you're not familiar with it, there's really no reason to be. It's not my Twitter drama, but there's been a lot of Twitter drama in general. Um, yeah, and I've just been not sleeping enough as usual. And oh, Summer Nam. I think I'm gonna go to Summer Nam. I think Sarah Longfield is too. I don't mean to like make announcements for her, but I don't know if I'm gonna film in Summer Nam or if I'm just gonna film with some people from Summer Nam. But I am going to go to Nashville and hang out for a couple days, which will be nice because I haven't really traveled in a while. And that is July 15th and 16th is when Summer Nam is. So yeah, that'll be fun. I don't really know that many people in Nashville. I assume that I'll bump into some people at Summer NAMM. Summer NAMM is not anything like Winter NAMM. It's not as chaotic. It's much closer. It's yeah, it should be more chill. And I'm actually getting my hotel room like paid for, and I'll be right next to the conference. I won't have to deal. If anybody's ever watched my NAMM video, it was kind of a disaster. Yeah, so that's a good time. Yeah, I don't know anything about it in terms of like what companies are going to be there. Are there going to be any product launches? I think I just really want to go into it blind and just check things out. Yeah, I kind of do hate NAMM, and I told NAMM that. Like I told them that I'm not a big fan of NAMM, due to the sort of bait and switch that they pulled on me last time. But with this one being closer, with Sarah going, and I don't have any commitment whatsoever. Like I can literally walk in and walk out and then spend the rest of the time going to, bourbon tasting or whatever I want in Nashville. If it sucks, I can just leave. And it's just a short walk back to my hotel. So there's not much to lose, really. Sorry. So NAMM is Next American Music Mohawk. I'm not really sure what it stands for. Wonder what it stands for. Let's look at it. NAMM. NAMM.org. So this is NAMM. Believe in Music. That's not what it stands for. Or maybe it does and they just don't know how to spell. NAMM Foundation. Maybe it'll tell us here. No idea. Somebody's going to tell me in the chat anyway. Somebody knows what NAMM stands for. They want your money a lot. They want you to pay them to be a member. How much does it cost? A free badge deadline. Wait a minute. Are people paying for badges? For badges? Are badges for sale? That may actually make my life a little bit less complicated because I've been trying to get badges for some people. I've been trying to just sort of like hand out Ben-sponsored badges, but I wonder if you can just go to Summer NAMM, attend, register now. General attendee. Can I just buy a badge? I mean, I already have one. I have a media badge, but it's going to want me to log into my NAMM account. I don't want you to know my NAMM account credentials. Yeah, okay, never mind. All right, well, this is something to figure out in the future because I have been trying to get a bunch of badges. And you know what? My mom's probably watching this. And if badges are public for Summer NAMM, then A, it'll be way too crowded, which is good to know. And B, National Association of Music Merchants. And B, my dad might be able to go, which would be amazing. So, yeah, I think he'd like it. There's a lot of guitars, I think, at Summer NAMM. I think Summer NAMM is like less techy and more guitar-y. I think. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you got my YouTube email. That's at the bottom of this channel. That should just have like an autoresponder. Lot of water bottle companies email me wanting me to talk about how awesome their water bottles are. That happens a lot. I've actually considered, just for the hell of it, I've considered saying yes to all of them. Just being like, send me a water bottle. I want to try out this amazing water bottle that you keep talking about. And then actually just talking about the one that's the best. Because water bottles are fun, I guess, right? To give away to your friends. So I was thinking about just being like, yo, everybody send me their water bottle, and then I'll actually tell my viewers which one is best. Because that way I'll have tried 50 water bottles, and I'm sure that anybody that's actually looking for a water bottle would be happy to know somebody that has looked for 50 water bottles, and I'm not sure what I'd do with the rest of them. I think that I would probably put them out in my yard, and then with all the tropical storms that we have this season from global warming, I'll fill them up and then I'll drive them to the West Coast where they'll have a torrid, life-threatening drought, and I'll just pour it out there, I guess, and I'll just keep doing that. Yeah. And you could tell that I've not taken the bait, or I've not like taken any of the money from any of these companies, because I'm using this like raggedy ass water bottle that I have in every single video and stream and everything. I have like 5 of these, and I just cycle them in my dishwasher. Memo bottles, okay. I don't think I've heard of that. One company that really was big on wanting to give me some money for the channel was water that comes in a can, and it's like cool rock star-ish water. Like it's like punk rock water, and comes from Europe. It's European water and comes in a can, and they're big anti-plastic. They're like, yo, we are environmentally friendly, we're green, we are part of the anti-plastic initiative or whatever. And so we, ship water from Europe in aluminum cans to America. And I was like, yeah, that's not really, I have a tap that I'm good with. That one's pretty good. It's just this thing that turns on free water. Well, not free, but it's like $9 a month for unlimited water, basically. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So in here, I'm not going to say the company's name, but let's just say that it has a hardcore name. In here, I have, it's like a vitamin, oh God, what is it? It's not caffeine. It's basically like a very crappy tasting supplement that keeps me awake. I really did not sleep good last night. I went to bed at like 5:30 and woke up at like 8:30, and I'm just like dying. Yeah. I'm sure anybody who's heard of the company knows exactly what I'm talking about. the water bottle company. But however, no Bluetooth water bottles have contacted me. I actually wanted to try out a Bluetooth water bottle. Finally, when I'm talking about companies that have contacted me and hit me up, one that like I'm not getting paid a dime from this company, but a company asked me if, and I'm not going to mention them until like I'm totally happy with it for like a month. A company was like, yo, we have a scooter. Do you want a scooter? Like, like literally a Razor freestyle scooter with a battery in it, like an electric scooter. And I was like, no, I'm good. And they're like, oh, it seems like it would be up your alley because it's off-road and it goes 40 miles per hour. And I was like, all right, how long does it take to ship this? Because I'm now interested. And so they sent one over, and yeah, man, I'm like going grocery shopping on this thing. I absolutely love it. It has like dual engines. It has, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It like barrels 35 miles an hour up steep hills and stuff. Has giant tires. It can go off road. I'm obviously not going to bring it on like a mountain bike trail or something, but yeah, maybe I'll bring it to Nam. Actually, maybe that's how I'll get from my hotel to Nam. That's actually not the worst idea, because I was very transparent with them, where it's like, I don't really have anywhere I could put this in a video. I'm gonna have to stretch, but if I actually like the scooter, then I guess I'll try, because yeah, and like if I lived in New York or something, totally or anywhere that generally you could just benefit from having an electric thing rather than a car, I would be using it like for everything. So yeah. So the scooter is great, and it's safer than I thought it would be too, which I thought that I would just immediately kill myself on it, and so far so good. I do have a little bit of like skateboarding muscle memory from when I was younger, but yeah. All right, so BLEASS plugins. So they make iOS plugins. They everything you see here and much more is already available for iPad or iPhone, and yeah, so you can use them in that regard, which is like almost like that's a world that needs plugins more than desktop, but they're slowly converting these to Windows and Mac OS desktop, and here they are. And just so you know, these streams are brought to you by my Patreon members. This is initially was going to be a private stream. All of my streams were, but my Patreon members were like, yo, nah, make them public. And so you could thank them. And if you are a Patreon member, you get 20% off any of these plugins. There's a coupon code in there. And one person watching this stream today, at the end of it, I'm going to have you comment on the video once it's done. And then I'm going to use a random comment picker, which is something that exists that I found out the last time I did a giveaway. And that person will get the plugin of their choice from BLEASS. And I will just forward their information to BLEASS. So, yes, that's very cool. And is there anything else that... Yeah, so their plugins are... Oh, I don't know why I clicked there. Maybe I should choose something that doesn't have effects on it. Yeah, that's effectless almost. Put this into insert one. I keep wanting to get rid of this keyboard. I have a Keylab up here, and it's so out of reach, and I just need to move it elsewhere, or just like use my montage right there. So let's start with chorus. Chorus sounds like a good... Let me make sure I have everything too. This is going to be like really disgusting to see all these plugins. I think I have everything. Yeah, okay. I only have 1,577 effects on this computer, unfortunately. So we might run out of options. All right. Neurofeedback music. Yeah, I'd like to. Like right now, I'm trying to figure out a whole lot of things. Or trying to like sort out a whole lot of things. And I do want to do this reality consciousness series that I've been talking about forever. I'm very close with Patreon. I almost had a deal brokered with like a streaming provider that I ended up deciding that for now, I'd kind of rather do it on YouTube. Or I'd possibly rather film, like throw a whole bunch of money at it and do a pilot and then give free access, depending where it ends up, give free access to everybody on my Patreon. I'm just not totally sure how to do it yet, and I have so many ideas spinning around, and now that quarantine is ending and it's safer to travel around, I'm sort of thinking in that regard too, like there's a lot of people that I would like to actually visit and labs I would like to see and things like that, and so but weirdly the neurofeedback thing fits into there. Like not so much in the music sense, but yeah, neurofeedback actually kind of fits into that overall what is reality, what is consciousness realm, the existentialism realm, because you are effectively changing how your consciousness operates. I mean, this is a pretty good chorus. I like how you could actually increase the delay lines. And you could separate them, I assume? Yeah. Oh, nicely. Nicely done, rather. Nice. Okay. You can't really do that with other chorus plugins. Maybe Melda. You can do. That'd be like the THX logo if it was like just a YouTube channel, like a little like. also make a low pass filter. Oh, also, a lot of these plugins, I'm not sure what the price of all of them are, but some of them are like $14.99. Like, that's the normal. And then they also, like, the newest one, I believe, is the Slow Machine, if I have that name right. Let me make sure. Yeah, Slow Machine is the newest one, and the one that you're going to see that hasn't come out yet, that comes out on June 30th, is the Granulator. I'm not sure which one they're calling it, but and that one is probably the one that I'm the most interested in because it's an effect rather than a synthesizer, which, yeah, I have a lot of grain synths, but I don't have a lot of grain effects. I am not a meditation guy, which puts me perfectly into the realm to be doing things like neurofeedback, because I have a lot of trouble meditating. And I've tried a whole lot of things, and I've taken a whole lot of substances that help. And yeah, I'm just one of those people that doesn't seem to be able to meditate properly. Oh, I like this little bad tape. My favorite grain synth is probably Falcon. I think and I think the reason is not because of... That's interesting. I wonder what's causing this. I want to find out what's causing this. I think it's the module. Yeah, it's crazy modulation. It's a pretty plugin too. These are all VST3, by the way, which means that they should be resizable, but some stupid thing I'm doing is probably not enabling that. My favorite granulization plugin is probably Falcon, and I think that's because Falcon is like a very... When I say modular synth, I don't mean like an emulation of a modular, but you can kind of just build your own thing. And I mean, I haven't like played this game in my head in a while, like what is the most powerful VST. I really want to look at Serum because everybody likes Serum, and I haven't used it in a while, and I know that they've had a lot of updates. But I believe last I checked, it only had one filter, and there's a lot. So I think it's still Falcon, and I think the reason for that is because Falcon, in my head, is kind of like Omnisphere mixed with Contact, right? You could take the libraries, the UVI libraries, and bring them into Falcon, and we could do that actually on here. I mean, that's probably going to be more entertaining than just playing with Piano Tech all night anyway. So I could show you some of that. I have no issue. Yeah, I mean, we don't need to like only concentrate on these. Would be nice to use them though. Okay, so that's the chorus. The chorus sounds okay. But yeah, let's not hover on the plugin that most people find. Delay. Also, if you already have most of this stuff, like if you already have 50 delays and 50 choruses, keep in mind that these are initially programmed for iOS. So imagine this in iOS, and where you don't really have nearly as many options. I mean, depending on how I like these, I may actually end up buying them for iOS. Alright, so how is this different than a normal delay? Definitely sounds different than a normal delay, and that would be the shifter. So we can make like a... Ooh. almost got like some FM going on. Yeah, this is very bizarre. Oh, so you could really make like a chorus here. Nice. I just want to like go up to basic again. I wonder why this sounds... Oh, I see. It's because there's an LFO. Old VHS. Just exist in whole tone for the rest of the stream. I like that. I like these types of delays. These like high end, I guess where the high end is a little bit more spectacular. I really like that for like guitar sounds and chimes too. Like if we try like a steel drum. Maybe not a steel drum. Maybe a hand pan. I know I have a drum that doesn't sound wanky. Let's make sure there's no delay here. Yeah, it's this one. Catching up on these. Instant vibes, you say? Check this out. Just, you know, use my actual foot pedal. Hang on. I have so many sustain pedals. I don't think I have this mapped, do I? Let's see. Oh, I do. Amazing. I actually have it mapped. I need to do a small, I'm going to do a small video. Hold me to this if I don't do it within 2 months. It's your job. You're my boss. Hold me to it. I need to do a small video on how to map sustain pedal in FL Studio forever. Meaning every time you load it, your sustain pedal works with anything. with Contact, with a synth, with whatever you want, and it actually records into the piano roll as you're playing. I have it set up. I figured out how to do this after being an FL Power user for 20 years. And I got it. And my life is way easier. And I know it seems odd that this would even be a thing, but FL just has a way of... Oh, the key's not. FL just has a way... The way they route MIDI is odd, and the way they route CC messages is a little strange, but... That was just, but it's also very powerful, and that was just one of the things that made it. Yeah, that was a frustrating part of that. Ow! I just punched myself in the balls. What am I doing? Anyway, Jesus, that was dumb. I was just like, one thing. Anyway. Where was I? The best electric piano ever, other than real electric pianos. The best electric piano ever, and this will blow your mind. It will blow your fucking mind. I wonder how much of a pain in the ass it would be to hook it up. Probably too much. But the best electric piano ever is the Yamaha Montage. Like, the physical modeling on there, if I were to just record straight out of the actual montage and turn off the microphone, you would not believe me that the microphone was turned off, because it models the physical hits of your fingers so well. It is absolutely mind-bending how good it is. And it's because of like the crazy amount of FM operators and all that stuff going on. It just cannot be done on a computer, can't be done with samples. It is insane. That's all I could tell you. In a future stream, I'm sure I'll do something in the montage and I'll show you, but... I'm like loving mysterious climbs lately. I'm glad that I loved Mysterious Climbs after my last album release, because it would be full of mysterious climbs. It'd be very dark piano stuff. All right, anyway, let's see. All right, I want to do the granulizer last. Let's go to reverb. Reverb, my favorite thing ever. I've like played with this reverb very briefly, and I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. It's not an amazing sounding reverb in its accuracy or in its lushness, but it is a very unique sounding reverb. So take that. Well, let me just play it dry first. Cool. I do have a little bit of artifacts happening here. Let's see what's going on. I don't have any underruns, but I can change my buffers. Actually, I'm gonna do something really fast, just to make sure that we are. Yep. There we go. See? Now, aren't you glad I'm an FL Power user? I would have just been like, yeah, I don't like this reverb. By the way, if BLEASS is watching this, take note of what I just did there. Let me go back and show you. I used fixed size buffers, and I'm using the maximum of the fixed size buffers because there was some issues going on there. And I think that that probably is only happening encapsulated within this session. But now everything should sound much better. I might actually do this with all of your plugins just so I can be sure. And you could save this setting, by the way, for the end user. Like you don't, ooh, that's cool. You don't always have to set that. You could just have it set. And that should not result in, yeah, I'm still at 11 milliseconds here. I don't know what my overall 23 milliseconds at the end of all plugin chains, so it's not terrible. That doesn't mean that my sound card latency is 20. That just means that, like, I don't know. I don't need to explain all this. How much have you saved for your Rhodes Parliament member? Get it, MP. Yeah, how much have you saved for your Rhodes? I have heard the Phantom's electric piano. That's actually quite good too. Yeah, I did a video with the Yamaha Montage. The thing is that, like, the Yamaha Montage, keep in mind that the Yamaha Montage is, in my opinion, the most powerful synthesizer in the world. People will disagree with me and say, no, the Waldorf, blah, 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 or whatever. The Waldorf Quantum. No, the Yamaha Montage is, it's just that the user interface is not designed for experimental musicians. But it is the most powerful synthesizer in the world, in my opinion. And I can't go into too much detail because I do work with Yamaha, but I still don't understand 100% of it. Like, I've been deep diving on that forever. Like, deep diving, and I still don't understand 100% of it. I still haven't gotten to the bottom of, like, you know, being able to use it to its full potential. It is just insane. You could play an entire live set with it, and it's not even a workstation. It is a synthesizer that just has, like, motion sequences. All right. That is actually really nice. And it has a freeze function. So, like, what does freeze do if I'm like... Oh, if it's clipping from YouTube. It's not clipping in my earphones that I'm just hitting for no reason. Yeah, I'm impressed. with this. And the Ducker we haven't even used yet. I'm kind of interested to see if there's anything that will showcase that. Duckers are nice. Vibrant tails. Okay, so yeah, the Ducker will slowly bring it out as it gets. I'm not totally sure what transform does. I think it just messes around these. Yeah. I think it's the same as this. Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything here. I think, like, you know, this has a lot of contenders. This has a lot of contenders. Obviously, there's so many reverbs, so many reverb VSTs. Not many cheap ones that are good. I mean, I would say that this, like, could stand up to the Valhalla vintage verb. I would say that this could be like a similar, that this could be a replacement, and I believe that this costs $15. So, but again, for iPad, that's a good. There's a good reverb for iPad for sure. God, what is the algorithm that Valhalla uses? Ah, the Schroeder algorithm, I believe. Gotta Google that. It's like a Schroeder all-pass reverb. Yeah. People always ask me to do a video on reverb algorithms, and it's like, yeah, well, yeah, see. It's a little. I sort of touched on it in the Melda one, because the Melda reverb is like you kind of have your own little pseudo reactor interface to make a reverb algorithm of your own. It's not easy. It's a brain fuck. Okay, Shimmer. I'm excited about this. Let me make sure that I have the fixed size buffers. Yes. Yes. Okay. Oh, wow. That sounds so much better than it did when I tested it out really quickly just to make sure everything was installed. So much better. Is this going up and down, I think, right? Let me just hit a high note. Yeah. Wow. I mean, maybe, if we're really lucky, this could be finally the Specular Tempest pitched down shimmer, reverse shimmer, inverted shimmer, anti-shimmer, whatever they call it. It could be that for VST. That would be amazing. That would be a seller for me. Like 100%. You got me. So we'll try that. Let me get something that's like dinky, higher, and we'll try it, because I love my Specular Tempest. That is the only thing that I really love about it. I mean, it's a great pedal for the money. It's like the best value in reverb pedals. But, you know, I have the Empress reverb. I have a whole bunch of it. But that one algorithm, good Lord, that one algorithm is just so good. And, yeah, I'm tired of like having to plug in my pedal and bounce stuff through it if I want that effect. Okay, go up an octave. Alright, so well, let's try Huge Shimmer first. Major? What's that mean? Oh, I see. Oh, cool. I'm only hitting one key, by the way. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. Just use a normal piano for that. What has GSI Systems done recently? I played with something at NAMM a year ago. This is not the same. I mistyped something. Sorry about that. Bless me. GFI Systems. I'm dumb. Alright. This is better. Oh, look at this. They have a new reverb. Good to know. May have to check this out. I wonder if Perfect Circuit has it. Have them send one over. Okay, yeah. So Synesthesia. I remember playing with this at NAMM. And I kind of truly... It was nice, and for the money it was good, but I kind of just didn't really care about it. Personally. But now that I'm reading this, it actually looks like it is pretty powerful. But I just feel like I have so much stuff like this already that I was kind of like, meh. But Skylar, what is this about? You guys have a new reverb and you didn't send it to me? Oh, is it mono? If it's mono, no, mono stereo input and output. GFI Systems. You have a new reverb and you didn't send it to me. My God. Well, what is Orca? Tape Echo. I'm going to have to hit them up and be like, yo, guys, it's been too long. Maybe I made a bad impression on them at NAMM. I think I was like, oh, you know, they gave me Indonesian coffee, which I had on the way home. I brewed it up in hotels. It was pretty good. They were very nice. And I wear their shirts. I need to get on this. Anyway, all right, back to the actual thing that we're reviewing here. Oh, I see. So you could just set the pitches here. So if we set this to 3, we'll be in minor. Oh, thank you so much for the $9.99. I appreciate it. Enjoyed that Medusa. The Medusa's amazing. I love the Medusa. The JDXA is great too, but yeah, it's kind of unbelievable that they've unless I'm like totally lost my mind. I had a dream about this, that they've discontinued the Medusa. Get them while you can, guys. The Medusa is a very awesome synth. It's also, I think it's going to be like one of those classic synths. Like, I think it's going to be like very much like the Machine Drum or something. Like, I think in 10 years, people are going to be paying a whole lot more for the Medusa than you're paying for them on Sweetwater. Well, can you imagine if I just sneezed directly into the mic? Okay, so I wanna recreate the Specular Tempest thing. So let's just go to default. All right. All right. So Here's our reverb. Modulation rate lower, mod amount lower. Color should be okay. I like this. This is like the reverb plus pitch shifting, which... All right, so we're going to pitch shift down by 12. And just a tiny bit. And then maybe pitch down by 24, just a tinier bit. And let's just hear that. See if we get anywhere near the... Ooh, we may actually have that. Oh, I see. Okay, and so post, we'll just do it once? Right. So we could actually have that post, and then this one's slower, and it will slowly come in. We can try that. It's not exactly like creating a pad the way that the Tempest does. The Tempest like straight up just creates a lush pad out of whatever you put through it, but I'll try it with something like a little bit more percussion-y. I mean, that's pretty good. This might be the closest we've come. Yeah. What do you guys think? I need something higher. Ooh, maybe a toy piano. Do we have a toy piano here? Actually, I should just leave Piano Tech altogether. Nope, not clone it. Leave it. Lucy just looked at me. She knows leave it is a command when she's like chewing on something, and I'm like, yo, stop, leave it. And she'll be like, oh, sorry. She just looked at me like, what the fuck? I'm not chewing anything. I'm sleeping. Everybody, Lucy is on a diet, and she lost like 1.5 pounds. She's down to 14.4 pounds. Or 14.2? Lucy, how much do you weigh, Lucy? No, she does not want me talking about this publicly. She's very not into that. Anyway. Where's Falcon? Falcon! Advanced, I'm sure. There it is. I have not updated Falcon in a while. The UVI people are... Oh, you know what? I actually have a new piano from them. Totally forgot about that. Why am I so dumb? Okay, so sound banks. These are all my sound banks. There's a toy suite. That's fun. We can play with some acoustic toys. How about a toy piano? A little candle piano. Wonderful. Now let's put that through the reverb. It's kind of I'm kind of enjoying this, what we're doing right now. I'm having fun here. And the reason for that, a big reason I'm having fun here is I was kind of stressing out. I was like, you know, I am just not in a session mood today. Like, I'm not in a mood to like create a song and then go crazy with it. I'm in the mood to play around. But I feel like I'm always inevitably going to try and make something. And I'm not. We're just playing around. Bunch of buddies. Did somebody just say I have a bitchin' bod? Oh, Lucy. Forgot I was talking about that. I took the compliment and just ran with it. I was like, well, thank you, sir. Or ma'am. Yeah, this is pretty close to the Ducker might actually. anybody's not familiar with it, I actually did a video. It's like one of my like hidden videos that just like never fit into any algorithm. Ages ago, I used this to score Lucy running around in the woods, like all of the toy suite. Yeah, Piano Tech's excellent. I haven't checked out their new version. I don't know if it's like enough of a. I don't know if it's enough of a. Ooh. I don't know if it's like enough of an upgrade to actually pay the price. Oh, here we go. Look at this. This is going to be crazy. What keys do we have available? Oh, by the way, keep in mind that what we're running here is Falcon. This is not the UVI workstation. This is Falcon. So this is actually the synth Falcon. It's running all these libraries. Yeah, okay. So dry. And then with the BLEASS shimmer. Yeah, that's brilliant. I like it. What if we add a little bit of feedback and brought this to 12? So the feedback means that it will constantly be going down, which may not be good, but we'll find out if we maybe increase the delay time and slow the delay time here, make this one. All right, let's do that. Yeah, I love Falcon. I mean, the interface takes a minute. It's not the easiest interface in the world. It's just odd, but it's odd for a reason, because it's powerful. Yeah, this is awesome. I dig. Yeah, it sounds great. I mean, might as well put a funny flute through it. So, again, dry. I imagine this would sound pretty chaotic with drums. I could just actually find some... Oh, you know what they have here? I forgot about this. If we go to electric, I believe they have, yeah, they have like little syn drums. These little things. Yeah, it's gonna sound almost like a granulator, right? Compared to... Yeah, these are just sampled toys. Like, they're a bunch of odd sampled toys. A train. Oh, and then they have a whole 8-bit area to children. Are these just children, like, screaming? Oh, no. Okay, I see. Speech. Oh, I know what this is going to be. One of these things.
Echo. Play. Record. Try. Press. Hit. Repeat. Repeat. To. Now. Hit. Play.
I think this is like some sort of European speak and spell. I don't really know. Like, a lot of these are unfamiliar to me, but familiar to others. Yeah, they have an 8-bit synth too. like how my stream, I'm looking at my like stream health or whatever stream stuff, and at like 3 minutes ago it peaked at 157 concurrent viewers and then plopped down to 90. Like I think I must have ended up like on the YouTube homepage or something for like 1 second, and everybody was like, "Oh Jesus." Yeah, this is cool. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Some voice sample stuff. I wonder if I have any choir libraries for. Probably do. No, Cameo's the CX. I bet just Mellotron choirs. Definitely not what we were thinking about, but. But I mean, this is. Let's take a terrible sounding choir. Maybe we could go up. Nice. Very nicely done. Well, that did exactly what we had hoped. Actually, I might have some choirs in the Falcon presets. Here, I'll show you what Falcon presets sound like. Do I have any choirs? I don't know. It has like some crazy stuff. This is with the reverb shut off, by the way. I don't want to flush chords. Ooh, this is nice. So like a high-pitched. I could just get rid of this reverb. And then bring in our BLEASS. Let's do that. Let's compare it to Empress. Not Empress. Eventide. I think I have Eventide's Shimmer Verb on here. What is their Shimmer Verb called? Is it their Black Hole? No. I mean, maybe it's the H3000. It'd be a good comparison, though. Do they not have? Good question on the YouTube shadow ban. I think I'm out of it, or I think I'm like on my way out of it. Yeah, thanks for asking though. I think with the last video seems to be almost up to normal performance. Like it hit like 20,000 in a week, which is what my projection used to be. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't think this is. What does anybody know? Oh, so it's just called Shimmer Verb. All right, maybe I have it, and maybe I just didn't put it in its own thing here. Let me look. Let me look through my 1,577 effects. Nope, I do not have Eventide Shimmer Verb. Nope. Oh well. Hello. Which giveaway? This giveaway, the one on this video. Yeah, hopefully hopefully I'm back in the algorithm after this last video. The next video is also like a gear review for a pretty interesting piece of gear, so I assume that that'll be more of the same. And then after that, if I have time, I really want to do a podcast. Not my own podcast. I have a friend who is a pretty popular. He has a pretty popular podcast, and I kind of want to do a makeover of his audio, because he has a lot of like he's always annoyed by his mouth sounds and stuff, and I kind of want to like do that and sort of be like a podcast makeover episode. And then I want to go to Summer NAMM, and I'll do one there, and that'll probably involve like Sarah or somebody, Sarah Longfield. And I don't know, that'll probably just be like me and her drinking whiskey or something, I'm sure. Anyway, what was the other question? Do I want to collab on a server? I don't know what that means. What kind of server? Like a dedicated server? I have a Minecraft server that I need to update. So I'd probably not be the best collaborator because I haven't updated it yet, and I promised to do it like the other day, and I totally forgot. And now I just reminded myself. All right, so how do we feel about how do we feel about this? Do we feel like it? I mean, I feel like it gets 80% of the way to the Specular Tempest's pitch down, and I would say that the Specular Tempest's pitch down, that nothing gets as close as this to it. I think that if this does one thing great, this gets closer than Melda does, and Melda allows you to like create your own damn algorithm. So yeah, I'm impressed. This is very cool. I'm gonna be. I really wanted to check it out. Oh, Discord server. I don't know how we would collab on a Discord server. I am wearing the Bayer Dynamic DT880 Pro. I also have the 770 Pro over there as well. I like both of them. This one, the 880s, 770s sound, they're like more of a vacuum. They like suck your ear in, and they're very loud. The 880s, if you get the right ohms, they're not as loud, and they are very comfy. Yeah. I still love the Polybrute. I was just looking at it today thinking to myself, boy, I really wish I could just have a few hours to play with the Polybrute. Like literally just stare. It's like right behind me. I was just staring at it being like, man, I would just love to make a couple sequences and get lost in the Polybrute. Yeah. Yeah, as far as the 880s, I could wear these all day, honestly. I could like just wake up and put them on and wear them until night and still be comfortable. Whereas like the 770s or most other studio monitor headphones, these are like semi-open, so I could hear a little bit of what's going on. And also, if you were sitting next to me and I were working at a decent volume, you would hear more than you would hear with normal headphones. I don't know if that's a good or, yeah. Depends on your work environment, but if you're going to be spending a lot of hours wearing headphones, these will exhaust your ears much slower. I should have not clicked index volumes, but now I'm stuck. Stuck with my decision. So we'll see how long that takes. I think most of my volumes are not on an SSD. Oh, look, there it's done. Yeah, okay. I don't want to be in Falcon Factory. Oh, I have the Model D. I actually bought this one. Yeah, again, to like anybody asking about Falcon, this is what's really amazing about it is you could just load in your sound libraries. It would almost be like having, you know, and like this piano sounds good. Yeah, it's a great piano sound. Okay, I'm a fan of Shimmer. Let's replace Shimmer with piano is probably not going to be the best for slow machines, so let's go with Granulizer. Granulizer, again, it's not out yet. It comes out on June 30th, from what I think I heard them tell me. So just so you know. However, if you win, if you are the winning comment when this stream is over, you get to choose whichever plugin you want. And if you want, choose Granulator and get it, or Granulizer, and get it in 6 days, then by all means, feel free. Oh, yeah. I've actually heard samples of their things, of their EPs. Oh, wow, so I could just have a truer shape. Not sure what that's doing really. It's moving around. Yeah. So I'm interested in having like a granulization effect rather than just a synth. I don't know what piano book is. So can you stretch these out more? Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, I dig this. And then we could do it on beat too. So I could change that to quarter note and then just play. Can we randomize this? Yes. Yeah, I have quite a few Spitfire things. Honestly, I wish Spitfire would make yeah, I wish Spitfire would make things for UVI. I wish they'd just. I mean, I know that everybody likes Contact, and well, nobody likes Contact. I know that everybody likes Native Instruments, but I just wish that they could. Here's what I wish, and I don't know if this is the case or not, but if it's not, then I wish it. I wish that UVI would make the making sample process for them an open source process, like they would have an open source converter that was very smart and nicely developed. And UVI, if you're watching, hear me. And yeah, basically, well, I mean, they're based in Europe, so they're not watching now. But if you watch this in the future, UVI, making a programmer, not a like human, not like creating a programmer out of clay and then giving him life, and using one of your existing programmers or developers to create a programming application that would be something that would allow people to move contact libraries over to UVI. And I know that contact libraries are often encrypted and super crappy, but you would be doing the opposite of that. And every single library that didn't have to deal with contacts encryption and pay Native Instruments absurd amounts of fees to have something on their platform would probably be more than happy to spend a day just converting the instrument over to UVI. And UVI Workstation, for those of you unfamiliar, is free. It's like Contact, but I mean, not as powerful as Contact. There's not like scripting in it or really anything like that. But yeah, it's free, and it does an amazing. It works so much more efficiently than Contact does. You could just run loads of things. And also, so as you heard, like this is just like a piano, right? Like it's pretty legit. Yeah, sounds legit. That's what they should do. Yeah, I mean, I have over the years, and I'm not talking. And this is before I had a YouTube channel. This is when I had to pay. This is when I paid for all the software I own. I mean, I probably have like 10 grand worth of contact libraries. Not joking. Just because I did so much composing for TV and all that stuff, I just had to have so much crap. And for fuck's sake, man. And I use a pirated version of Contact because the legit version has repeatedly deregistered my libraries and caused massive meltdowns. And I'm not going to say any names, but there's like big multi-million-dollar studios that do the exact same thing because of that same authorization problem. Like they've nearly lost clients over it, and it's just inexcusable. Check this out. You know, a cool piano thing. Augmented piano is really cool. They have brushes, brush slides. Yeah, so this is not on a SSD. This is on like a slow ass hard drive. And oh man, thank you so much for the 500 Ethereum that I know for the 500. Is that Korean? Anyway, yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Not used to getting tips. This is nice. So this is like brushes. Odd, right? I would have thrown this on an SSD had I known I'd be showing it off. They have bows, they have muted finger, which I think is just plucking the strings. We'll find out in a moment. Oh, is it? Okay. Oh, thank you. Well, still, that's an amazing amount of money. Why did I think SEC was Korean? Is Korean some other similar abbreviation? Well, thank you. That's amazing. Yeah, listen to that. And you could also adjust the microphones. All right. Go through the granulizer. Yeah, I like this a lot. I have not used lawn mics. However, I do want to get an underwater mic, but I've not used the lawn mics. No, it's weird. I'm really, I really need to use that ambisonic mic more. Yeah, this is so much fun. I love the way this sounds. The headphones are DT880 Pros. Yeah, so this is a fun library. I'll use Slow Machine in a second. Oh, you know, it would be good to show off. They have like the beat, not the Beatbox Anthology. I mean, that is an awesome one too. But they also have. Before we go into that, hang on. The Urcam solo instruments. These are pretty amazing. I don't want to do anything too crazy. Key switch velocity. Cold Light of Day asks, how important is it to be able to read sheet music to be a musician? Not at all, really. Unless you... The only reason I know how to read sheet music is because I was a musician for... If you watch my last video, Mark Messing handed me a lot of sheet music because I was working with a whole bunch of other musicians. When I wrote Undiscovered Colors, I had to hand sheet music to every single performer in the orchestra. And anytime I recorded an orchestra, I had to do that. Does that mean that I needed to be able to write and transpose myself? No, I could have hired a transposer, but there is a little bit lost in translation when you do that. It's like, it would be like having an app idea and hiring a third-party developer. You know, you'd still get the point across, but it wouldn't be perfectly the way that you had it in your mind with, you know, the functionality. That being said, I would for the average viewer of this channel, I would not prioritize it at all. I think what I would do is I would take a very, like, if you're interested in learning music, I almost wish I could like make a standardized, I wish that like the way that the real book and the fake book work, which is a jazz standard, that's how jazz players do it. You'll have the lead. So like So, for example, you'll have all of the chords. Um, so basically, it'll just be chord charts. It'll just list the chords, and then it'll have like whatever counterpoint melody is happening on top of it, like, and then the back chord to that in that key would be F. That's Autumn Leaves, right? So you just have all of those chords, and that's what the real book and fake book's like. And so that's a great way to learn. When I had Alpha Basic Music Center, I didn't have many students, but I had a few. I had actual real teachers teaching, people who were trained to teach children and stuff. But most of the students I had were older. They were a little bit older, and if they wanted to play Metallica, like I had one, it was a girl who wanted to play Metallica. It was like a 14-year-old girl, and I think 12 actually. Well, anyway, she wanted to play Metallica. She loved Metallica, and she had tablature. And I was like, throw the fucking tablature away. This is nonsense. Why would you count your frets? That's the least fun way to play music. Everything Metallica makes is in E minor. So let's just learn E minor. And then like let's just learn, all you have to learn is 12. Yeah, you learn a couple shapes, major, minor, eventually, 7th, major 7th, minor 7th. When you're first learning, you don't need to get into 9ths and 11ths and diminished, right? So you learn those things, and then you say, okay, Metallica, Enter Sandman is these 3 chords, and now you can play it anywhere on the guitar, and you can play it however it's most comfortable for you, and that's going to help you the most later on. And so that's how I learned music initially. It was just jazz charts, which are just chord charts rather than sheet music. Sheet music, score reading, and sight reading. That's why you run into so many classical musicians who say, "I dream of one day writing music, but I can't do it." And you're like, how have you played music for 20 years and never written your own song? How is that remotely possible? And it's because they are essentially machines. And I don't mean this in a degrading way at all. They're extraordinarily talented in what they do, but they're machines that you feed music to and they play it. And their brain gets associated with music that way and not the other way around. And so anyway, unless you intend on writing for live orchestras, then no, I would not prioritize sight reading. Yeah, Adam does. Adam made a great point. It was nowhere nearly as good as Adam's, but if you go back on this channel, I have a very brief video talking about how I believe that classical music just evolved into jazz. Like I think that classical music just left. The Impressionist movement was in France. Then all of a sudden, New Orleans, where more than half of the population speak French, all of a sudden you have freed slaves playing the same sort of like 7th and 9th that you would hear in like Debussy or Ravel. And but instead of bowing the bass, they were plucking it. And then you had more rhythm, which most of the slaves in that area at the time, or the freed slaves in that area at the time, were initially from Hispaniola or Haiti, and so they had like from Vodou culture, they had this like sense of rhythm, and so it's easy to see. And so people always like categorize it like, oh, that's jazz and that's classical music. And meanwhile, like Gershwin is like playing Carnegie Hall, playing Summertime in Carnegie Hall, and then meanwhile jazz, which in a lot of places was actually illegal at the time. It was illegal to play, and so you'd have Summertime being played in brothels, and it was the exact same song, and Gershwin can sound very jazzy. Yeah, so I don't know. I always thought that jazz is just America's turn to evolve classical music, and I've always felt like the distinction was a racist one. Like, it's just black people weren't allowed to weren't allowed to do it, and classical music then, slowly got unpopular. I don't know. No, no, it's sorry, I should probably read the questions I'm asking. Did Debussy ever hear the music coming out of New Orleans? I have no idea. I would love to know the question to that, and I don't know if anybody knows or know the answer to that, and I don't know if anybody knows the answer to that. Um, yeah. So yeah, it is interesting because so St. Louis, which St. Louis, uh, yeah, St. Louis was just kind of took some of New Orleans culture because it's right up the Mississippi, um, and then the Missouri River as well. Uh, so yeah, the whole thing's really interesting, and it's just interesting that color was the difference between jazz, which jazz, by the way, it used to be a bad word. Jazz used to have a derogatory meaning. And so it just got called, like, jazz was just a way of calling something crap, essentially. And it got called that, and it was also like touted as the devil's music, like literally the Satan's music. Like it was evil to listen to, it was a sin to listen to jazz. And of course, so then in the backwoods places in America, jazz was made illegal, and people were arrested for playing jazz in public. Um, yeah. So James Marks, you have a good point there with jazz being uh, improvisational, right? So I don't think so. First of all, classical has not always been about sight reading, right? And I'm not like Adam Neely would be able to talk circles around me in this regard. He knows much more about music history than I do, but especially with this topic because he's researched it a whole bunch as well. Um, Classical has not always been a sight reading frenzy, and jazz. You have to keep in mind that the people who took the reins of classical music when it ended up in New Orleans were people who weren't educated. They just didn't have access to that. Like segregation was in effect. They did not have access to the same education system that white people had. And so, I mean, I don't even want to, I'm not going to Google it now, but I can only imagine what the illiteracy rates were in the South in 1910, right? Probably incredibly high. And so expecting somebody to be able to sight read and have the education of reading music, which takes years to teach to a child, it's a big deal. Um, to expect a African American person to have that in that time is just no, it's not going to happen. Um, yeah, and so they improvised, right? And that's what happened. And then jazz became and another thing that I love about jazz that now that like later ended up becoming kind of tragic, but that's one thing that I love about jazz is it's really the people's music. It's America's music, and it's America's music, and it's African American music. Like obviously that's where it comes from. It is ingrained. The two are inseparable, and yeah, and that's one thing I always loved about it, and I've always loved about the utter disregard for copyright, because at the same time you had like Tin Can Alley happening in New York, where everybody's just trying to like copyright things and release it as fast as possible, and music just became this big money thing, whereas jazz was about expressing, and they didn't give a fuck about copyright at all. And that's what the real and fake book is. The fake book is essentially the real book after they started suing people for printing it because it had notes on it that were copywritten, right? So then everybody just copied their own, like on notebooks, and they just had these fake books that they just copied from each other, and it was literally like the musician's version of Napster, and then they went and they played them in clubs, and they played their own versions of everything, and one version of a version of Summertime that you would hear from Gershwin, by the time it found its way to like the 50s and 60s, you had something completely tonally different. And then that ended up, manifesting itself into pop music again. Like it kind of came back around into pop music, into something like Stevie Wonder. Like if you listen to, what's the name of the track? Why can I not think of the name of it? I forget the name of everything. I don't even. You Are the Sunshine of My Life. Like I can't play it here because of copyright, even though it would be fair use in this case. But You Are the Sunshine of My Life. Listen to that song and listen to the chords. And obviously Stevie Wonder is hugely inspired by jazz. But like if you listen to songs like that, or Isn't She Lovely, and if you listen to those chords and if you actually try and play them on the guitar or the piano, you actually get to see how incredibly nuanced and perfect everything is, in a way that, like, in my opinion, Mozart couldn't really touch. Like, it's just, it's an evolved musical brain. Anyway, that's my tangent. Bye. No, joking. We still have another plugin to go through. I'm going to read some of these comments. Hopefully none of them are too angry. Yeah. So to Preston, talk about New Orleans. New Orleans is amazing. I love New Orleans. I wish that it was a place where I could play a show. It's never been booked for me ever. I've been there plenty of times. Yeah, I mean, I essentially, one year I essentially lived between Chicago and New Orleans, just going back and forth between the two. I'd only been there once pre-Katrina, and it was definitely way different. But yeah, New Orleans is a beautiful city. I recommend it to anybody who's interested in music in general. Yeah, so I would absolutely love to see Copyright revised. I don't even know where to begin with that. But yeah. So this is a key switch instrument, meaning that I could hit these down here for a performance. I don't usually like doing things this way, but for showing off, it's good. I'm going to load up just a staccato. Anyway, I'm not going to go through all these, but these all sound really good. Like the Arkham stuff. I don't want to totally be talking out of my butt here, but I think that it is a mixture of. I do believe that the IRCam is a mixture of physical modeling and sampling. And this is going to keep me up at night. So maybe it's not. Let me look at the scripts. You know what? Again, I could spend a day doing this. And okay, so it only has this many waves, so it has to be some physical modeling. And the script processor. Yeah. How big is that? Yeah, I wonder how big the Lua is. The Lua script is on this. Anyway. Oh, that's another thing. Contact uses their own scripting language that they invented themselves, which is not easy to use, not fun to use. Falcon uses Lua, which is much more accessible. And if you're a developer, then you've probably already touched on Lua. Okay, so let me load up a drum thing here. I'm trying to remember what the name of drum designer. That's the one. Let's just go with Kit. Oh, thank you. My hair. Thank you for liking my hair. My power bill, believe it or not, is actually not that bad at all. It's the worst part of it is air conditioning, and I usually keep the air conditioning kind of low upstairs. I mean, I live in Georgia, so it's fucking hot, but I usually keep it pretty low. And then down here, I have a mini split, which is super energy efficient. Everything in here is under. I think everything in here right now is running on like 8 amps, 9 amps that's on. And the biggest power sucker is the MIDI controllable piano, because that's 81 solenoids. And so that thing is on its own circuit. That takes a full like 15 amps. But Scarlet Dawn, about your KSP nightmare. I have a book called I don't know, it's like a KSP scripting guide that I bought on Amazon. And now I think you could still buy it, but it's like $500 or something. But it just has a picture. It's like, it's so funny because it reminds me of the whole like Gear Sluts Muff Wiggler controversy. It just has a picture of like this like pretty girl wearing like a tight top with no bra on a laptop, and that's like the cover of the book. And for the longest time, I like had the book out in my studio somewhere, and everybody was like, "What are you looking at?" Like they thought I was literally looking at porn. And I was like, "No, it's like open it. It's the most boring book in the world." Oh, that's interesting, Preston, about Jazz Fest. I actually totally forgot about Jazz Fest. I don't really go to shows, but I'm more open to it. Like the reason I'm going to Summer NAMM is pandemic related. It's like I can't like I haven't traveled significantly in a really long time. I like went to the swamps and stuff. But I haven't even left Georgia in a while, and I can't right now. It's like unfeasible due to like the quarantine thing. I was just like really pissed off about this today because they like didn't change anything. But like the UK, I have a lot of things to do in the UK, including my family, and so yeah, and so it's ridiculous. So going to NAMM would be nice to just like get the hell out of here. All right, so this is. Oops, I have to put in 90 BPM. All right, so this is Drum Designer. Yeah. Oh yeah, they have a million different. Oh, I wonder if they. Oh, they already have patterns. Nice. I don't have to program one. Vinyl. Dilla. This is very Dilla. Glitch funk. Yeah, this has a lot of different effects in it and stuff like that. By the way, the reason I'm loading this up is because I'm going to run it through that new slow machine thing from BLEASS to show you that too. Future. Lo-fi. Oh yeah. Oh, this is nice. These are actually like really interesting sequences. Okay. I gotta pick one. Alright. So we could run the granulizer on this. Or we can load up Slow Machine. There it is. So, to be totally honest, when I first saw this software, I was like, or when I first saw this plugin, I was like, I don't get it. I don't get why anybody would want this. And then I looked deeper into it, and I was like, that's actually, this might be brilliant. I think it's kind of made for like vaporwavy type feeling stuff, but and the reason I say it might be brilliant is because I would never think of this. I would never be like, oh, like, and it's just not something they could like easily do with any other plugin, right? What am I? Yeah, so it has its own like sequencer. I don't know what to open. I need to update Generate too. Man, Generate's so much fun. I need to update that. How about... God, sorry, I cannot make up my mind ever. Alright, I'm gonna close my eyes. There. Ooh, Mellotron. I'm not sure that oh wait, we gotta load bass. Does this thing not have presets? Yes, it does. Alright. This is a bad choice. We have like some sort of... This is going to be an organ. I mean, that's fine. Alright. Okay. Yeah, it's just so weird, isn't it? It's just weird. Maybe I will open up Pigments. No. Yeah, I don't know. I want to like make a main lead over this. Cold light of day. Give me a second, and I will. I'll respond to some of these. I'm just gonna get through this one little patch here. How about my giant? Why is my pigment so big? All right, calm down, giant pigments. Let me get like a piano-y sound. Wait a minute. Is this Pigments 3? Did I update? About. Yes, okay, good. I want to make sure. I was like, this sounds way too much like a piano. Alright, then maybe a string sound, a pluck sound. What we got? Just go with the sequence. I have an idea in my head, and I also don't want to hear this falcon anymore for a moment. This might work. Alright, this'll do. Give me an arpeggiator. Maybe I'm not playing enough keys to be random. And trigger probability. There we go. Copy. Oops. I'm using a KVM software thing, so my scrolling is messy. Here, I'm going to make my life a lot easier. Oop. Very odd melody. I love it. Okay. I think I love it. I don't know. I might hate it in a minute. Okay, now I want to bring that through the granulizer. I like the reverse one. Might be a bit too slow though. Yeah, this'll work. And then also, let's use that beautiful shimmer. And remember to use the fixed size buffers. Send the loop position. All right. There we go. Now. There, it all came together. happy with that. Um, I love the sound of. Very messed up track. Sorry about that. Yeah, I think like toward the end there, I was just putting a lot of compression over everything, so the mic level was not as high as it could be. I suppose I could also move it up closer to my head. All right, we are nearing the end. Let me pop out the chat here and read some of these messages. All right. Cold light of day. Do I ever get recognized? I might be missing some messages. If I am, re-ask them. Is the stream volume low? It actually could be. I was concerned about peaking. Can't wait to look at the lineup. Jazz Fest lineup. Can't wait to look at the jazz line. Do I have family in the UK? Yes, my wife and stepson are in the UK and not allowed in the US ever again. And the UK laws are kind of ridiculous. What Doth Life asks, Ben, do you play live drums for some of your songs like the Basement Trio? I'm trying to remember that song. Yeah, I do play live drums. Usually, I'm trying to remember what era that is. There was an era when I switched from actual live mic drums and moved over to electronic kits triggering samples, just because I couldn't be bothered to mic stuff anymore, and the things like, Superior Drummer and whatnot were sounding good enough to where I was totally okay with that. I'm trying to remember the actual what track that is, but I think that's a more recent one, so that's probably played on the Roland V drums, and then being given to whatever on the computer. I don't remember what plugin I used, but all right. Cold Light of Day asks, do I ever get recognized in public? Rarely ever did I get recognized in public as the flashbulb. It would be, obviously, if I had a gig, I would get recognized like around the gig. If I was like, getting coffee at a cafe before the gig, and there were people, who were going to attend the gig, or at, every now and then I'd be recognized at like Guitar Center or something like that. And, very few times just randomly. In Chicago, it happened a lot more, because in Chicago, I think I was just more of like a face. Here, it's just, yeah, I'm not as embedded with the city. But now that I have this YouTube channel, it's funny. I've been recognized a few times in the woods, like while walking my dog, like in a national park or something, which is always funny, like, because that's such a weird place for somebody to recognize you. Like, just, yeah, I've been recognized by like joggers, who've just been like, hey, are you Ben Jordan? And I'm like, yeah, it's very weird. Dog park. what's funny is this guy's now a good friend of mine. I was at the dog park once, and somebody was like, "Hey," and it was so funny because like my dog's really good friends with this dog Heidi, and yeah, one day some guy introduced me to Heidi's dad, and he was like, "Yeah, this guy's into music too." And then he was like, "Oh, what's your name? What's your music name?" And I told him, and he was like, "Oh, I have you on Spotify in my car right now." Like I was literally listening to music on the way here. And that was just like ironic, but yeah, now he's like a good friend of mine now. I hang out with him all the time. Not because he listens to my music. I mean, he's actually an interesting, nice guy. Um, yeah, so yeah, I do get fairly recognized. I assume at NAM, I don't know. At Winter NAM, I probably would get recognized a lot more. Summer NAM, probably not so much because it's not very like production gear heavy. Um, you never had me down as an FL user. Well, I do like it. I bet I do use other DAWs. Um, to be honest, this sounds amazing. I think once it came together, I think that it did sound pretty cool. It was a nice loop. Um, yeah, to IO raise them up. You find Pigment's better alternative to Serum. Pigments is infinitely more powerful than Serum, but a lot of people do really love the Serum UI, and you should use whatever you're comfortable with. Because at the end of the day, you just need to keep creating. Phase Plant is really interesting too. I like Phase Plant. I haven't spent enough time with it, but I do have a copy of it. I should probably update it. Arturio, hey Arturio, Arturia Piano V2. I need to check that out. People keep talking about it, and I've like doubted it. And I mean, I love Arturia. They're like one of my favorite companies to work with. I need to check that. I keep reading about it, and I need to check out their new update of that. Smoke my vapes. I haven't vaped anything in a while. I have like all this Delta 8 and Delta 9, and I have not had it in months. Probably over a month now. All right, what else? An XRA fan. I'm not sure I know what that is. Yeah, I do have Bitwig on this machine. Bitwig's nice. I think I got through all these questions. Look at me. Wait, no, there's one. Okay, scratch that last question. Well, I did scratch it, as in answered it. What music do you think you'll be making in 3 years, 5 years, and then when you're elderly in 10 years? Well, first of all, I'm not going to be elderly in 10 years. I'm not like 60. Um, yeah, no, I mean, I, I, I reckon I'll still be reasonably athletic in 10 years. I'll have to have like my prostate checked in 10 years, but I'm not like going to be elderly. Anyway, um, man, I have no idea. Truly, I have no idea. In the last couple of years, I've been very into challenging myself, like with the 7 quarantine poems thing. Like that was really really challenging for me to because all of those tracks are puzzles in my own head. Like they all have a certain algorithm that they're following, and they're not even that fascinating. It's not like some secret thing for anybody to figure out. But that's sort of what kept me entertained through writing those. Yeah. So I have no idea, to be honest. I wish I could answer that question. And when I say I wish I could answer that question, it's like I wish that I had some sort of like motivated focus going on. But yeah. What's the future of music 10 years out? I mean, hopefully all this Orica stuff I'm doing, I think that the chances that like Orica are going to be like, you know, leading the way for the future of music are low. But I think that's worth a shot, and I hope that like other people get on board with that idea. Yeah, I like the idea of music essentially taking on of an artist's career being treated like an IPO, but obviously without going through the FEC and going through a financial system. Like, you know, because we have so much investing going on, and that market is so much bigger than the music industry, and it's dying for mascots, and it's dying for some sort of emotional connection, and it's also dying for sustenance. It's dying for something where it's like, you know, I don't want to get into like a whole blockchain conversation now, but you know, when the most attractive coin or blockchain or something like that is based on either it being around for a long time or it having, you know, certain technological features, then like that really tells you like, man, people should be able to invest in artists. And a lot of people are like, I don't think that combining, you know, something like crypto or finance and music are a good idea. Well, then, you know, then I mean, you could go on to the Dow Jones right now and invest in Paramount and Sony and Spotify. And basically, it already is. It's just that all of the money's going to not artists, it's going to, you know, people who just invest in it. And so, yeah, I'm a big fan of that. I'm a big fan of like the problems I'm running into. ICO or IPO, it's sort of the same thing, right? Um, I think a lot of the plans I'm running into, or a lot of the like issues that I run into, like for example with the existentialism series, is like all about funding. It's funding issues, and I turned down a good offer because like I would have had to give up creative control. And it's like, that's stupid. Why would I have to give up creative control? Like anybody who had the creative control, which would have been an unmentioned company that produces series, they don't have any interest or research in the topic that I'm talking about. So why would they have creative control? You know, it's just silly. It's and so yeah, I mean that's like across the board. I think that could change art, and I think that could change music. And yeah, and I mean it's more of the same though. It's like it's kind of when you think about where we are now from where we were in 1995 or 2000, where, you know, when I was first starting out, if a major label didn't like you, you didn't have a career, and that was it. And like major labels, if you have access to it, if you have access to PBS or any torrent site really, I mean it might even be on YouTube at this point. Check out something. It's really interesting if you want to look at like how things used to operate before piracy just tore it to shreds, in a beautiful way. Uh, it's called The Essence of Cool, and it's a Frontline documentary that basically goes over how you would have these all the major labels, some film companies, Hot Topic, clothing lines. They used to have a conference every year where they would all try and figure out, all right, so what's going to be the next trend? Let's figure that out. And at some point that crossed over to where they, instead of having that conversation where they tried to figure out what the next trend was, they said, okay, this is going to be the next trend. We're going to turn culture in this direction so we could profit off of it as much as possible. So, you know, you're gonna basically sign a bunch of bands that are goth, and then you're gonna sell the black clothing, and then you're gonna, you know, make the Crow movie, and then you're, you know, just like all down the board, you had this massive inorganic way of changing culture, and piracy just fucked that up. It just destroyed it all. And, you know, all of your pop stars just, the essence of what a pop star is changed entirely when that happened. And so anyway, so where we are now, like, you know, like far into the future from there, that's still in the lapse of my career. That's like the beginning to now of my career is like where that happened. And so, I mean, I feel like the things I'm talking about in the Orica video and the things I'm talking about with the Orica project, they're not that crazy when you consider what time has done to the industry. Like the only for sure thing that the music industry does is change. It just always changes, and it always shits the bed, and it always collapses and rebuilds itself in some other way. And it's going to do that 3 more times, 4 more times within my lifetime, I'm sure. So I just hope it happens in a way where, yes, merchants of cool, that's it. And so it's going to happen 3 more times, you know, in my lifetime, and hopefully it happens in a way where, hopefully it happens in a way where where artists benefit the most, and where becoming an artist, you know, is a more sustainable lifestyle for people. So yeah, but yeah, that's amazing that you show it, because it's like truly one of those things that's like, merchants of cool. It's like not, it's not pertinent anymore today, but like it's such a fascinating documentary. And I remember I remember it the week it came out. I remember seeing it, and it was like my first Frontline documentary. And since then, Frontline's been like, probably the only TV that I'm addicted to. Like I just watch every single Frontline episode now. Ever since then. I wish ImageLine and Ableton would collaborate. I can't imagine two companies any different than Ableton and ImageLine. Like in terms of just like how they handle themselves and how they do business. Not saying I'm not saying anything derogatory about one or the other. It's just that they're just entirely different to work with. By the way, I don't even know if I mentioned this. If you recall, a couple streams back, I was using the Transistor TB303 emulation thing. Somehow, some of the folks over at FL Studio caught wind of me complaining that it didn't have a randomize function, and they emailed me, and it will have a randomize function now. I explained to them how it happens on like when you take the batteries out of a 303 and put it back in, or how it works with a lot of the 303 clones. I'm just like pointing aimlessly to another room where I have a bunch of hardware. That's what ImageLine is. That if I email them and tell them, hey, it'd be cool if this happened, chances are it'll show up in the next. And that's not because of my clout. That's just because that's the kind of company they are. They just want to support everything. They want everybody to be as happy as possible with it, and they listen to their users like no other company I've ever come across. So, yeah, I have met Tipper. Yeah, Tipper's a nice guy. I haven't spent like any long amounts of time with him or anything like that, but I've definitely played a lot of the same gigs that he was playing. So, yeah. All right, so let's head up this contest before I sign off here. If you leave a comment to this video, once this stream ends, if you leave a comment in there, with how did I do this last time? All right, how about this? If you leave a comment, that can just be anything. Maybe just say hello, thumbs up, taco emoji, whatever it is. Leave a comment. I will put your basically I will have a script automatically choose one of the comments, and then I will I will respond to your comment with an email address. You can just email that email address, and I will forward you to BLEASS, and they will. I feel like I should probably have one of their plugins up here, right? And then you can choose what plugin you want, and they will send you a license code for it. Unless it's Granulizer, in which you will not get it until the 30th. Does that sound good? And you can type whatever you want. Have I ever given an invited guest lecture before? Where are you located, Cold Light of Day, by the way? Somebody mentioned me do something with something at a NAMM after event, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet. But yeah, I have given guest lectures, and I've also done guest classes too. Yeah. Well, you'll be talking to you'll be offering $200 to a to a random script. So just Joe Blow 420. That name. If you it like Just Joe Blow 420 reminds me of the guy in Rocket League who rams you. For some reason, like I just imagine that username being like the guy in Rocket League who like rams me every time I try and like shoot who's on my team. And I'm just, like, do you not want to win, sir? Uh uh uh, uh anyway, your FL Studio would be my DAW of choice if it was still running Windows. If I was still running Windows. It's for Mac now. It's like totally stable. I was running it on my M1, I think, and it was running just fine. So if you still like it, it's there for you, waiting for you on Mac, and runs just fine. It's nearly the exact same program. I've loaded up sessions between the two, actually. All right, so I'm going to be signing out, and yeah, so leave a message, leave a comment after this stream ends. You can just like refresh it, and then you'll be able to leave a comment. And yeah, and I will pick a random winner, or have a thing pick a random winner. Oh, you're on Linux. Okay, so you use Bitwig. Oh, is Granulizer out now? Maybe they released it early. Maybe I'm stupid. Yep, it's now available at intro price. How much is Granulizer? Let's see. $30. No, it's available for iOS. I don't know, maybe they're... Looks like you could download the demo. I don't know. I'm sure they'll have a better answer than I will. But thank you to them as well. Thanks to my Patreon members, and also thank you to BLEASS for being generous. And also, if you don't win a plugin, if you're a Patreon member of mine, you get 20% off for the next 2 weeks of any of their plugins. So you could buy the whole suite, save $20, make money off your Patreon membership. Bam. Yeah, the Granulizer's nice. I think the Shimmer's my favorite of the bunch. Yeah, I think Shimmer wins. And if you don't have enough money to afford Valhalla Reverb, I think the Reverb is pretty similar. It's not the same algorithm, but it's pretty nice. It's pretty, and it was I think it used like less than 3% of my CPU, so that's good news. Oh, and by the way, as I said this before, all of these things exist for iOS. This company started as an iOS company, and then they moved things over to desktop. So yeah, this stuff is like this stuff. Like I said, on the desktop, like things like that reverb and the shimmer and all that stuff is like, yeah, you could probably find some alternatives, but on iOS, it's like, I'm always hungry for more plugins on iOS, and this stuff is really good for that. So. Yes, the 20% does go on top of any sale that they currently have. Yeah, you can get the bundle, 20% off that. The reason, it's funny because like when any company wants to work with me, they're like, what's your price? Well, this company didn't necessarily throw money at me, but a lot of them do. And I'm like, no, you just got to give a coupon to my patrons. Like, got to give a coupon to my patrons and maybe some giveaways. And yeah. My favorite reverb? I don't know. My favorite reverb VST is the Melda one. Yeah, the Melda Turbo Reverb, M Turbo Reverb. That's my favorite. Oh, actually, I think it's in my reverb folder here. Yeah, M Turbo Reverb, because you can really, yeah, you can go really, really deep, like really, really deep. Like I can't even explain in this. I mean, you could generate an impulse to like work with things, and then, yeah, you should definitely check it out. You essentially can create your own algorithm from scratch, and it's amazing. And their presets are great too, and it's pricey. So, yeah. Check out my Melda video, by the way. I have one. I go over it in there, and you could check it out. And my favorite reverb pedal, my favorite hardware reverb, maybe my favorite hardware reverb in general is Empress reverb. I love that. I use that for everything. I have to try and not use that. Like I'm doing like a synth review now, and I'm like, no Empress reverb, because it always steals the show because it's so good. But yeah. Anyway, okay. Thank you guys, and leave a comment once this stream is over, and I will pick a random winner and send you or I'll comment with a little email that you could just email, and I'll forward that to the company. All right, guys. Yeah, Fruity Convolver is rad, by the way. All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.